All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the Future Edge Conference. We are ready to start now. And for tonight, we'll be having 2 speakers and 1 panel session. So I would like you to get your questions ready. If you have any questions at all pertaining to anything around branding, anything around personal transformation, anything around personal development, anything at all in that field, I would like you to get your questions ready, and I'd like you to get your notes and your pen for your jottings so that you can always go back to what you have to or what you've jotted even after the event is over. Once again, this is day 2 of the Future Edge Conference, brought together by Abel Ogunaya, right? So we are going to start right away. I'm going to invite our speaker, our first speaker, Let me check if she's around. Okay, while I do that, I want you to let me know if you can hear me clearly. Can everyone hear me clearly? Please, if you can hear me, just let me know in the comments section. Please, I'm waiting for your responses so that I can be sure I'm not talking to myself. Let me know if you can hear me in the comment section. So while we do that, if you learned anything or if you were here yesterday during the first in the first day of the Future Edge conference and you learned one or two things from the speakers that we had, I want you to just type in the comment section whatever it is that you learned and how you've been applying it since yesterday. What you learned, who the speaker was, and how you've been applying it. Let me have them in the comment section. All right, so if you are just joining, I mentioned that we are going to start right away with our first speaker. But before we do that, I want you to write in the comment section what you learned from yesterday's session, either from the first speaker or the second speaker or from the question and answer sessions. And let me know what you learned and how you've applied it so far since yesterday, even up till now. Yeah, I can see that we have 4 people on the call. You all are welcome. So this is day 2 of the Future Edge Conference, and I don't know if you were here yesterday. Just let me know in the comments, and if you can hear me, let me know in the comments. Just let me hear your hi, or let me see your hi, hello. Let me see them in the comment section so that I can be sure that I am audible. All right, Victoria, you're welcome. Victoria says, all right, Ejiro Mikako, you are welcome too. You can hear me. Thank you very much for that. Victoria says, okay, Tonye, hi, hello, welcome. Okay, thank you very much for the feedback. So Victoria says, I learned that the past continuous occurrence in my life, the patterns are part of what makes up my purpose. That's right. I think you got that from the first speaker, Sir Prominence, who talked about patterns, purpose, and faces. Pattern, people, and faces as they relate with your purpose. That's right. Thank you very much for that. If you were here yesterday, please let us know what you learned. Let's know what you learned. All right, Victoria says, I also took some minutes to reflect on the patterns that have occurred over time in my life. That's a very good one. The fact that you put that in practice, you put what you've learned in practice is a very good one. Thank you very much, Victoria, for that. So if you are here and you were here yesterday, I would like you to just put whatever it is that you learned yesterday in the comment section. So before we will do that before we bring up our first speaker. I can't see her at the backstage yet, so we'll just engage on this while we have her around. All right. So if you were not here yesterday, just let me know what you look forward to in today's session. We will have 2 speakers and 1 panel session. So I mentioned earlier before some of you came on board that you should get your questions ready, get your jotters ready, get your pen ready, right? So we are going to have a great time today. We had a great time yesterday and we're going to have another great time this evening. Okay, Tonya says it wasn't around, but he watched it later. All right, and he learned that those you are, that who you are is different from your abilities, from the first speaker. So there is more to who you are than your abilities, basically. Thank you very much, Tony, for that. Oh, you're a female. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you actually watched it. And I think that the advantage of this conference is that you can, even if you are not available, maybe the network kicks you out or kicked you out, you can always get back to watch it on our YouTube channel. So if you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, ensure that you do that. If you've not subscribed and turned on the notification bell, you've not liked, you've not watched, and ensure that you do that. Last night's session was a banger. It was a blast. And tonight's session will not be anything short of that. So, all right. So let's have more. We are 11 on the call now. Let's have more people. We are going to be having Precious Chikwemeka Nwosu speaking to us tonight. She's our first speaker, and she's going to be speaking on the conversion edge, mastering lead generation strategies for sales and influence. So if you are, everybody sells something, right? If you want to make money, you have to sell, right? So she's going to teach us how to master sales and lead generation. Before you sell anything, you know that you have to generate leads, turn people into your prospects before they eventually become your clients and buy from you. So we are going to learn how to master, not just know vaguely, but mastering lead generation strategies for sales, and not just sales, not just the money, and influence. So it's going to be a great time. I personally look forward to um having this particular topic. I look forward to it. I look forward to what our first speaker for tonight, have for us with this topic that I am seeing. So it's going to be a swell time. So get your jotters, get your pen, be ready. In fact, go to your Facebook, go to your WhatsApp, and tell people that we are live at the FutureEdge Conference Day 2. We are live. We are live. And they should not miss out. They shouldn't even miss out on something that will teach you how to master lead generation strategies for sales and influence. Go and tell them right now. Elizabeth, you are welcome. We had you here yesterday, and we have you here today. I can see you here today again. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let me see if we have the first speaker already now. Please pardon. I don't know if it's the network or some other things that she's dealing with. Please bear with us. All right, so I'm going to call up the second speaker without wasting much time. I think that the first speaker has glitches with a network. So I think she was here earlier. Our second speaker, let me put it up. All right. Okay. So we have our second speaker in the house already. Excuse me. Okay. So we have our second speaker in the house, and we'll be inviting her to speak to us. And that's no other person than Miss Samantha Lazarus. And she'll be speaking to us this night on the topic Mastering Communication for Growth, Influence, and Career Success in 2025. Mastering Communication for Growth, Influence, and Career Success in 2025. And as I said, we have so much embedded in tonight's session, right? So we want to learn how to master communication. Communication is one thing that so many people don't know much about. Is that topic that you think you know much about it, but you definitely don't know a lot about it, right? So I'm so in for this. And if you are ready, let me see your fire emoji, your readiness, your any emoji that shows your readiness, dancing emoji, fire emoji, or you just say I am ready. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Before I bring her up the stage, let me see your emojis. Jacinta, you're welcome. I'm happy to have you here this evening again. Oyedeji, you're welcome. I'm happy to have you here this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I don't know if she has network issues too. All right. Okay, okay. Elizabeth is ready. Precious is ready. Good evening. Jacinta is ready. Okay. So let's have more. I think we are more than that on this call. We are more than that on this call. Let me know what you look forward to seeing the topic. What do you think? What is that thing that you look forward to learning this evening about communication in relation with the topic that we have? What do you look forward to learning? What do you look forward to knowing more about? Are there things that you've heard before and you're like, oh, communication is this or that? And you're like, you don't think so? So let me come and learn here. Let me know. The topic once again is mastering communication for growth, influence, and career success in 2025. I await your responses in the comments. I await your responses in the comments. Don't let us be cold tonight. It was very hot here yesterday and yesterday night, the first day of this conference. So don't make it cold. Let's have it hot. Let's have it hot, hot, hot. It should be hotter by the day. We should not get colder by the day. We should get hotter by the day. So let me know in the comment section. What do you look forward to learning with regards to this topic, mastering communication? More like you want to be the master of communication for growth, influence, and career success in 2025. Let me know what you look forward to before I invite our speaker to take over the stage. Okay, Oyedeji is ready. Okay, before we have our speaker, let's just engage in a bit of communication. I think she has issues with network. So let's just have a bit of conversation on what communication is. And this is not, as I said, it is a conversation. I'm not teaching, I'm here to host. I'm your host for tonight, right? So let's just have a bit of conversation. What do you think communication is? I know that in our primary school, we're told that communication is exchanging ideas, but in your own word, what would you say communication is? And what lapses or what issue have you had with communication, probably with your friend or with your boss or with your siblings? Maybe you were communicating and they just didn't get it. What issues have you had? What issues have you had? Let's know in the comments section so that we can bring up this discussion. Okay, Precious. Precious Chuku. I'll just call you Chuku because I can't pronounce that that name in the video. Hi, it's my first time joining. What I look forward to learning is stronger communication strategies that will help me grow in career and business. Thank you very much for joining, Precious Chuku. It's a pleasure to have you with us this evening. I'm glad, I'm elated that you are joining us, and I hope that we are going to see you tomorrow as well. Thank you very much for joining. For what you look forward to, you are going to get it 100%. I guarantee you. Oyede Jabioye says, I look forward to mastering the art of communication, thereby engaging excellently well with the world out there. You are going to get that tonight and even more. I guarantee you. All right, Precious. Thank you. Okay, let's have more people. So, what do you think communication is, and what are the things you think can hinder communication? Communication is the exchange of ideas between two people. So what do you think can come in between that exchange to cause confusion? Because sometimes people in relationship, now relationship is not just your romantic relationship, right? It's every kind of relationship, with your lecturer, with your siblings, with your roommates, with your pastor, with your friend, with your parents. Sometimes you talk to your parents in some ways and they're like, are you talking to me like that? And it's not like you meant, you wanted to go overboard or you wanted to disrespect them, right? So that can be an issue in communication. Toye, thank you. Assumptions can hinder communication. That somebody is telling you, oh, I'm so sick, and instead of you to ask, how can I help? That's communication. Because sometimes when people are sick, some people want you to probably take action and tell them, oh, I'm sorry. Or just say, oh, let me get you this, let me get you that. But you end up just assuming that, oh, because they say they are sick, they want you to come over and help them with something. But they don't want that. Their sickness is the sickness of privacy, not the sickness of, oh, I want you to come over. Right? So assumption can really be an hindrance in communication. Victoria says she look forward to learning the right communication skills to impute in our career journey, to unlearn and work on any bad communication skill she might have. I think that, Victoria, I would advise that you highlight the some of the bad communication skills that you think you have. Therefore, thereby it will be easy for you to work on them. Do you understand? So just write them down. If you think that, oh, I don't communicate properly, if I want A, I would communicate B, like they say females do, right? They say females, if they tell you no, they mean yes. If they tell you I'm fine, they want you to press more. That can be a communication issue, right? How do you want rice and you're saying you want beans, and they bring you rice and you're saying, oh no, it's beans I want? That's a communication gap, right? So just write those things down so that as we go into this topic, you are able to say, okay, this is it, this is the solution to this is the solution to that, and you're able to tick them and begin to take actions on them. Thank you very much, Victoria, for that. Jacinta says one of the causes is lack of understanding of one's opinion. That's true. That's true. That people don't want to understand your perspective. There are people that when you communicate with them, they don't want to, like, they are just prepared not to understand. They are not prepared to listen to you to understand. They are prepared to listen to judge. So they just want to judge you. So in that situation, they don't want to understand what you are saying because their minds are made up. And that can be because of something that someone has told them before. Maybe someone has told them that you stole something. And maybe they have also noticed some patterns that they have not confirmed. So they just come to you to say, you stole that thing. I mean, you stole that thing. And you're like, oh no, I didn't steal it. This was what happened. And like, it's a lie. I still don't believe you. They already told me that this is how you do. And I already saw you that day. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So yes, lack of understanding of one's opinion. You are coming from Niger Delta and you are trying to talk, to communicate as someone that is Niger Delta according to the perspective of a Niger Delta person. I don't know what their perspective is, but I know different people have different perspectives. Different community have a way that they communicate. So because it's just like an Igbo person communicating with a Yoruba person. Now, greeting is a way of communication. If an Igbo person is greeting an elderly Yoruba person, you would see that the Yoruba person will be looking at the Igbo person like, why are you not kneeling? Why are you not on your knees? Right? So that's an opinion. That's a perspective for them. right? That you have to kneel to greet, right? But they don't understand that one in Igbo land, and Yorubas who don't understand the Igbo land's opinion with regards to greeting. So they just have to say, why are you not kneeling? So that can cause a lot of rifts, a lot of rifts. Thank you very much, Jacinta. Precious says one of the things that can hinder communication is lack of confidence, not remembering what you are supposed to say. And this is my case. I think that most people have this issue, if you ask me, that you don't remember what you want to say. Maybe you are in a situation where you have where you are, maybe you have a rift with somebody, an argument, and you have a lot to say. But because of that argument, because it was so spontaneous, you just forget everything. And after the argument, you now go and you're saying, I would have said this. Oh, I would have said that. And I wanted to say this. How did I forget? Or maybe someone called you to say, oh, can you tell us who you are? Because that happened to me some years ago. Someone just called me randomly. I was not prepared for it. From that, I learned that I should always be prepared to introduce myself anyway. Right. So I was not, the person just said, can I meet you? Who are you? What do you do? I just went blank. I mean, I went totally blank. Not that I didn't know who I was, but it was it came as a shocker. It didn't come, I didn't expect it. More like I did not expect it. So I just went blank and I was just like, my name is Laduni Peace. I I just said some shabby things, and after that I was like, oh my god, I could have done better. What did I just do? I could have done better. Right? Okay, so I think that we have um our first speaker on the call now. Let me invite him to the stage. Thank you very much, everyone that has participated in the short talk that we had. I really appreciate your participation, and I hope that you stay tuned. You continue with us even tonight as we have the first speaker, the second speaker, and the panel session. Thank you very much. So I would like to invite our first speaker in person of Precious to the stage, who will be talking to us on, that's Precious Chukwuemeka Nwosu, who will be speaking on the conversion edge, mastering the lead generation strategies for sales and influence. The conversion edge, mastering the lead generation strategies for sales and influence. So I'm going to invite him to the stage. So with a round of applause, with, you can stand where you are with a standing ovation and with a virtual round of applause. Let us make welcome Mr. or is it Miss Nwosu Chukwuemeka Precious. All right, you are welcome, sir. You
Hello,
can have
everyone.
the stage. Thank you very much.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching me from. Am I audible enough? Can anyone hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me?
I can, but not very loud. Seems like the volume is
Hello,
low.
can anybody hear me?
I can, but the volume is low.
Hello, 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 hello. Am I audible enough? Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
I don't know if anybody can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, let me know.
We can, we
Okay,
can.
okay, great. All right, good evening, everyone. And I want to apologize for being a little bit late. So we're just going to dive right into what we have to discuss today. So we're talking about the conversion edge, the conversion
All right, I think that the network is dealing wondrously with Mr. Precious. I don't know why it has to be like this tonight, but I hope that you bear with us and I hope that you still get the best. So I think we should wait for him. I think we should wait for him. So while we do that, I think I have some other comments. I have some other comments. We've talked about lack of confidence and not remembering what you're supposed to say. All right. Oyedeji Abioye says, for me, I think everything about the delivery, maybe poor delivery. Yes, sometimes you are prepared to talk, but the way you deliver, you don't use gestures. You just stand there and you're like, my name is Abioye. I am from something something. You know how that can be. It's a very different ball game when you stand to communicate and you use your gestures. You are not just standing like a mannequin. You use your gestures. I am peace and I am from, that your gestures can communicate what you are saying, that you're not just like that. Now it's a different thing when you can't see my hand, when I don't have my whole body in this frame. But once you can see me, I'm standing before you, then you should be able to see my gesticulations. I should be able to gesticulate to a very large extent, so much that it communicates everything that I am saying. I should not just stand and begin to say, oh, my name is Peace, I am this, and apart from that, one thing that can also cause, oh, we have Miss Samantha. Okay, Mr. Precious is back. Let's just have him. Let me add him to the stage. All right, sir, you can have the stage, please.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I think the network is kind of lagging tonight. So I'm trying to see if I can connect to another network. But regardless, if you can hear me, let's just begin. So tonight we want to talk about the conversion edge. What does it mean to you when we talk about the conversion edge? You know, a lot of people. I'm an advertiser. I run an advertising agency, and when you pay attention to what a lot of people put out online, you see a lot of people complaining we are not able to run converting ads. When you see a lot of people who are asking how can we get results with our advertising, then you can see some ads that will say, I will teach you how to run a converting advert, or I can help you run an advert that gives you conversion. Now what this means is that there is an edge to everything. There is a place of mastery. That is why we're talking about mastering lead generation tonight. So if you don't understand, if you've not mastered it, then it'll be very difficult for you to be able to get results. You keep complaining that your ads are not converting, and these are some of the things that we want to talk about tonight. So we're going to be dividing this lecture into into three areas. Firstly, we're going to talk about our time is fast spent. So we're going to talk about generating leads. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? I can tell you that a lot of people who are watching me right now have in one way or another tried to make money online, try to sell a product. Everybody's looking for a way to make money. Everybody's looking for a way to make profit, because that is the only way you can stay afloat, you can survive in this economy. You need money, and leads is what will give you money. But if you don't know how to generate leads, you might have a very beautiful product, you might have a very beautiful service. In fact, there are lots of people who are not supposed to be broke. There are lots of people who are not supposed to be poor. Am I communicating? There are so many people who are not supposed to be poor, because you have everything you need. When I posted the flyer for this event, one of the things I wrote is that you have everything you need to be comfortable in 2025. Everything you need. because you have a skill. I'm sure everyone here has a skill. Even if you don't have a skill, if you're those who are in affiliate marketing, you can market someone else's business, you can market someone else's product and earn a commission. So there is no making money has become so easy, but the problem is how to get leads. And that is what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to divide this study into three categories. The first one is about generating quality leads. Then we're going to talk about how to convert prospects into paying clients. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how to amplify influence and impact. So I believe that you have your writing materials. What we are going to share here tonight is something that you've had over and over again, but we're going to be a little more practical. So I believe you have your writing materials. You can begin to take notes. The first thing that you must do to generate quality leads, the key word is quality leads, is to utilize social media. On Facebook presently, there are 1.2 billion people who are using Facebook daily. So Facebook is one place to generate leads. But for you to generate quality leads, then you have to create relevant content. The kind of content that you are creating will determine the kind of leads that you get. In fact, it even happens in advertising. Most times when you create an advert, when you put out an advert and your content is not appealing to people, you're going to get people who are going to come to your DMs, who are going to reach out to you, and then they're going to be asking you questions because they don't even understand what the advert is all about. So if you're on social media and you want to generate quality leads, organic leads, your content must be relevant to your audience. And the second thing we want to talk about is leveraging content marketing. So when you want to leverage content marketing, what this means is that you're going to use your content to market whatever it is that you are selling. When I set out in a few years back, when I set out on social media, one of the things that I did, I wanted to launch out as an advertiser. I wanted people to know me as an advertiser. So what I did was I began creating content that I began creating content that are in line with the challenges that people in business are facing. If I'm an advertiser, who are my audience? My audience are business people. My audience are people who need to promote their product or services. So I must create a content that will, detail what these challenges are and how we can solve them through advertising. So I don't know what it is that you're marketing, but you need to create a content that poses as a solution. That is what content marketing is all about. So your content must be solution oriented. A lot of people get carried away on social media. They want to jump on every trend. Some people even want to use trends to be able to market or, influence the market, influence the sales of their product. But I will tell you for a fact that it is wrong because in the long time, it is not sustainable. So leveraging social media to market your content, to create relevant content is one of the ways to generate quality leads. I don't know if I'm communicating. So it's one of the ways to generate quality leads. And then the third thing that you must do is to optimize your content. I started managing a social media page for an organization I think in January, on the 1st of January. So I created the page. And then we started, I developed the content calendar and I started putting out content on that page. 0 followers, 0 likes, 0 everything. And on the 5th day, the owner of this brand reached out. He said, "What's going on? People are not following this page." I told him to relax. People are going to follow the page. This is just the 5th day. And as I speak with you today, a lot of people have started following that page, even on their Instagram, because we created everything from scratch. So people have started following those pages. And how did I do that? I used relevant keywords, relevant hashtags, the things that people search in line with that particular niche. Let's say we're talking about a wholesale distribution company. So you're going to be using hashtags and keywords that reflect that something that people can search, something that people often search. So when they search those keywords, they are going to find you. Many times I've seen people reach out to me. They will say, we searched on Facebook for Facebook ad expert and your name popped up. Why did my name pop up? Because most times when I put out a post, I use the hashtag Facebook ad expert. Most times when I put out a post, I use the hashtag Facebook ad expert. So anybody who is searching for a Facebook ad expert, once they search it on the search bar on Facebook or Instagram, my name or my profile is going to be among the profiles that are going to pop up. Now, I'll tell you a secret. There are tools that are used to generate leads. There are Chrome extensions like Apollo.io that are used to generate leads on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on Instagram. Now, what this does is once you search a particular keyword, it brings up people who have been creating relevant content in line with that keyword. So if you are in digital marketing, if you're creating a content, digital marketing should be part of the keywords in your content. So you should know you should do a keyword research, even when you're creating ordinary posts on Facebook. So you'll see that there are people who they may not get so many reacts on their posts. They may not get so much engagement, but people are reaching out to them in their DMs. I can tell you for a fact because I've experienced it. I know these things firsthand. I might put out a post that may not even get any engagement, but because of relevant keywords, people are searching for these things every day, every minute, every second. Millions of people, hundreds of people are searching for solutions to their problem. As long as businesses continue to exist, people will continue to look for ways to, promote their business. People will continue to look for ways to make more sales. And if you are a service provider or you have a product that you're offering, if you want to be in the faces of your customer, you want to be able to reach out to the people who really need your product, then you must use relevant keywords, relevant hashtags, even when you're creating your content. I know that a lot of gurus, a lot of teachers, a lot of online influencers will tell you to use storytelling in your content. Storytelling is good, but even when you use storytelling in your content, make sure that you're using relevant keywords that relates to what you are doing, that relates to what you are marketing, that relates to what you are selling. So this is the way you are going to generate quality leads, because when people reach out to you, they already know. Once they reach out to you, they already know what they are coming to do. They're not coming to waste your time. I cannot tell you that I have gotten anybody that came to my DM to waste my time. You can't come to my DM to waste my time. I'm a serious person. If you go on my page, you go on my wall, you know I'm a serious person. So you cannot come to my DM to joke. So once people reach out to you, they will know that you're a serious person. Then another way to generate quality lead is to optimize your social media handles. Optimize your social media handles. I'm not a fan of controversial content, and I cannot tell you, this is my personal opinion, I cannot tell you what to do, but I have been invited here to share what I know and what has helped me so far. So I prefer to focus on what I'm doing online. It could be thought leadership. If I'm not talking about my business, maybe I'm talking about one or two things that I do in line with social impact. You cannot see me, joking around online. I want people to take me seriously. You cannot see me having a lot of unnecessary tags on my wall. There are people that you go on their wall, you see a lot of tags. There are people that you go on their wall, before you find what they are doing, you'd have to search 5, 6, in fact, sometimes 10 before you see something that they do. So many times I have wanted to hire people to do one or two things for me. And if I want to hire someone, I will say, can you send me your social media handle? I want to check you out. I want to see what you've done over time. Once they check you out, once I check that person out, sometimes I would have to scroll and scroll and scroll. I may not even find what they do. It will take a lot of time before you discover what they do. So that is a red flag. You see a lot of people saying they paid money to vendors online and the vendors ran away with their money. It's very easy to spot a red flag. It is the same thing with advertising. If I see an advert that I love, I am a quality lead, I want to purchase this thing. In fact, it has become so easy these days that you might be talking about something with your friend and then you come online and you see an advert about it. So let's say, for example, I let's say, for example, I want to hire, I see an advert, for example, and this is something that I need. I am the lead, the quality lead that this person is advertising for. I'm the quality lead now. And I see these adverts. What do I do? Personally, what I do is I will check you out. I want to see if you have a track record. I want to see how long you've been doing this thing. I want to see your consistency. I want to see the quality of the work that you've put out. If I am convinced by the quality of the work that you've put out, then I can decide to patronize you. But if I'm not convinced, I go on your wall, there isn't so much, even the ones that you've done is not convincing enough, the quality of your work, the quality of your designs, the quality of your content, I will not patronize you. And you have lost the quality lead. Even if I'm able to reach out to you via your DM and we have conversations, I may not be convinced. So a lot of people lose quality leads because of the quality of their content and because of their social media handles are not optimized. Now, this brings us to the second layer of this conversation. I said that we were going to discuss how to generate quality leads, and then we're going to discuss converting prospects into paying clients. This is the second layer of this conversation. How do you convert prospects into paying clients? How do you convert prospects into paying clients? Someone has reached out to you. In fact, I wrote a book on how to close sales like a pro. And one of the key things that I shared in that book is personalizing conversations. It's very difficult for a client to reach out to me and not patronize me unless I just want to let that client go, honestly. Because I personalize content. I create rapport. I know about follow up. Follow up is good and all, but there is a way. In fact, in this age and time, there's a way you follow me up, I'll block you. There's a way people will follow you up, it becomes annoying. So, but that is not the best way to do it. Even if you want to follow somebody up, make sure that before following that person up, you have created a rapport. Well, once a client reaches out to me, I don't know, am I still communicating? Can anybody still hear me? I want to see your comments if I'm still communicating, please. Can anybody hear me? Hello, are we together? Hello, hello, are we still together? Can anybody hear me? Or am I just talking to myself? Can anybody hear me? Please let me know that you can hear me. Okay, great. All right. So now I was saying this brings us to the second layer of this conversation, how to convert prospects into paying clients. The easiest way to convert a prospect into paying client is to build a rapport between you and that prospect. Somebody reaches out to you because they like your product. They like your service. They like what you're offering. That is why they reached out to you. Nobody reaches out to you to waste your time. So if you are not able to close that client, if you're not able to close that lead, then you don't even know what you're doing. I am of the opinion that if you don't know how to close sales or close any leads or close any prospects, then you have no business looking for leads. So before you begin to implement all of these things that we've discussed, optimizing your social media, networking with people, most people go to events, conferences, you network, you share your complimentary cards. When people reach out to you, you don't even know how to close them. So if you don't know how to close sales or close leads, you have no business even looking for quality leads. So the easiest way to close or convert a prospect into a paying client is to create a rapport. Create a rapport between you and your clients. We're talking about conversion edge. This is what gives you an edge. This is what gives you an edge over every other person that is marketing. Most of you, your industries are saturated. Most of you, the things you do, a lot of people are doing it. Are you in real estate? Almost everybody is selling properties. Almost everybody is a realtor today. So are you even in advertising? A lot of people are in advertising, digital marketing, affiliate marketing. Just name it. So what is it that you are doing? What you are doing that every other person is doing? What gives you an edge? That's why we are having this conversation. So the conversion edge is you doing things differently. Your conversion edge is how differently you do things. Your conversion edge is how differently you do things. You know, if you can create a rapport, if you can personalize conversations with your client, it will make it easier for you to close them. Sometimes, let me give you an example. A client reaches out to me and we are chatting, sending messages. They send to me, I send to them. They've stated why they are in my DM and what they want. And the next thing I'm going to do is, are you up for a call? Can I call you? Politely, can I call you? Or can I send you a voice note? When you call a client, or when a client hears your voice, when they can talk to you one-on-one, you begin to understand them and you give them the impression that you care about them. People love doing businesses with people that they feel cares about them. Let me give you an instance. I bought something a few days ago, and when I got home, I discovered that what I bought wasn't very okay. So I complained. And what did they do? These people called me on phone. They were going to change the product quite all right, but they called me on phone to apologize to me. The management called me on phone to apologize to me. And I felt, okay, these people really cared about me. And even if they didn't replace the product, I will want to patronize them again because of their customer service. That is why a lot of industries have customer service. So, building a rapport with your client, personalizing conversations, personalizing communication, personalizing your message to address specific needs is one way to convert a prospect into a paying client. Because as you have personalized that, now you have spoken to them. You have had a conversation with this client. You understand their fears. You understand what they're afraid about. I've had many people reach out to me for advert, and then they will tell me, I've done advert before, it didn't convert. We hear it a lot. And then they are afraid. They don't want to do another advert. They don't know if it's going to work. So I understand their fears. This will now lead me to personalize my message. This will now lead me to personalize my conversation based on their needs and interests. So personalizing your conversation or your communication based on the needs and interests of your clients is what converts that client from a prospect into a paying client. Now, the second thing that can help you to convert a prospect into a paying client is to offer discount and freebies. I charge 30,000 a week to set up an advert for a client. But when a client reaches out to me and I see that they are, a bit hesitant because they've done it before, it didn't pay, and I'm trying to talk to them, I'm trying to explain to them, I will tell them my expertise, what I have done, my track record, and show them some results. Some of them may not even be convinced by results. So what I do is I offer a discount. So when you offer a discount, it solidifies your position. It solidifies your position in the heart of that client. But if you are just all about send them a message, some of them will not reply. People love to know that you care about them. So you must integrate empathy. You must integrate empathy in your marketing. So the second thing to do is to offer discounts. And then the third thing to do is to share, build trust and credibility. How do you build trust and credibility? You build trust and credibility by sharing your testimonials, case studies, success stories. You must demonstrate the value. You must demonstrate the value of your offering, whatever it is that you're offering. Sometimes people, sometimes when people hire you, they go to check you out. You may not know that people are checking you out. Somebody wants to hire you, they want to check you out. I've many people who come and tell me, I've been to your Instagram, I've been to your Facebook, I've been through your profile. So if you want to convert a lead or a prospect into a paying client, you must learn how to build trust and credibility. And this is not something you do in one day. Many of you, this is 2025. You don't prepare for battle on the battlefield. So you don't wait until opportunity comes before you begin to prepare. Begin now to work on your social media handles. Begin now to build your portfolios. Begin now to create your relevant content that when people go to check you out, it helps to solidify their heart, their mind to work with you. When I started out as an advertiser, one of the things I did was I needed to build a portfolio because I know that the days will come when the big gigs will come. I knew the big gigs were going to come, but it didn't come. It hasn't come earlier. So what did I do? I started out giving out free, I will tell people I'm offering, you can reach out to me for free adverts. Reach out to me for your free advertising. You can consult me for free. These were the things that I was telling people. And a lot of people were reaching out to me. I was doing these adverts for free. Many people that know me, 2022, 2021, you would remember I used to do these adverts for free. What was I doing? I was using the advert I was running for them to build a portfolio. Most of them, their adverts were good. Most of them, they got good results. And I was gathering these testimonials to build a portfolio. Because when the big gigs come, they're going to ask you, let's see what you've done. We want to see what you've done. But if you are dealing with the small gigs, freebies, people may not really care because it's a free, free job. You're doing this advert for free, so they may not really bother about, your testimonials, your track record. But when the big gigs come, they're going to ask you about those things. So build credibility by beginning now. If you know you are expecting something huge, if you know where you are headed, a lot of people do not know where they are headed. So if you know where you are going with your life, with your business, with your project, so you must begin now. I used to tell myself, I used to say, I know that 5 years from now, people may begin to go to dig out certain things that I have said in the past, certain contents I have written to use to drag you online, to spoil your name, all of those things. So because I have this mindset that these are things that are likely to happen, I begin now to be careful about what I put out. My privacy, I pay attention to my privacy. I know a lot of people want engagement, so you put your life out there on social media in the name of building a fan base, building a tribe. You let people in on your life. In the future, those things are likely to haunt you. When you've forgotten about it, you might just make one little mistake and people will just go and dig up something from 5 years ago. So what am I saying in essence? If you know where you are headed with your life, you know what you want to accomplish, then you must begin now to build, to create content, to put out information about yourself, about your business that will help you build credibility so that when the big gigs come and then they go to check you out, they will find out that you have been doing this over time. They will see testimonials. There are lots of testimonials about me. You can check them out. So those things are there. So it will help you to build trust. The KLT factor, they say clients only patronize people that they know, like, and trust. They know you, they like you, they trust you, then they patronize you. So your content must be able to demonstrate the value. When you talk with your clients on phone, you must be able to share, you must be able to cite case studies. One of my strong points when I talk to clients, I will say, I've done adverts over 5 years now, or for over 5 years, since 2019. I've been in the advertising industry. I have advertised for people in healthcare. I've advertised for churches. I've advertised for people in digital marketing. I've advertised for people in bet companies. I've advertised for people in the entertainment industry. So I can cite any kind of track record. I can cite any kind of success story. I can use case studies from the past to reference what my client is facing and personalize my message to be able to give them a solution. So if you are able to project that kind of solution, tell me how it is going to be possible for that client to not hire you. Tell me how it's going to be possible for that client to not hire you. So that is one of the ways to convert your prospects into paying clients. Now, the last thing to do is to follow up. You can follow up your content, your prospects, but don't overdo it. From time to time, maybe once in 2 weeks or once in a week, just reach out to them. Don't bombard them. People get bored easily, especially in this day and time when there are lots of funny things happening. Nigerians are skeptical if you're advertising or if you're marketing to the Nigerian market. So people are very skeptical. There's a way you follow up a client and they block you. So do it respectfully, do it intentionally, and don't get carried away. So this brings us to the last layer of this conversation: amplifying influence and impact. Am I communicating? If you're following so far, can you share what you've learned? I want to see your comment. I want to see your comment. I want to know that you're following. I want to know that you're following. Hello? Hello, I want to know that we're following. I want to see your comments. Okay. They said my time is up. All right. Very quickly, let me just wrap up. Amplifying influence and impact. How to amplify your influence and impact. Now, I'm going to share a very simple principle, the VVIP principle. So I'm wrapping up now. The VVIP principle is a principle that I have devised over time. This is something I've learned from my experience. The first V is value. The second V is the first V is value. The second V is visibility. The I there is influence, and the P is profitability. When you create valuable content, when you create content that gives value, it gives you visibility. When I started out, I started creating, nobody knew me. But look at me, I'm here now talking to you because people have known me. I've gotten the kind of visibility that makes people to invite me. So when I started out, I decided I was going to be talking about what I do, advertising every day. So for 30 days, I did a 30 days challenge for written content, video content. And every day I was just talking, giving value. People will come to my DM and say, these things you are sharing for free are things that people pay for. So it was value, premium value. The value that I gave out, gave me visibility to a large extent. People began to know me. People began to pay attention to me. People whom my content was a solution to their problems were reaching out to me. So I was getting visibility. Now that visibility is what gives you influence. Whenever you see people mention, we are looking for a Facebook ad expert or an advertiser, you will see a lot of people begin to mention my name. They begin to tag me on those posts. The influence is there because over time I've given out value that gives me that influence. And this is what makes you profitable. For a long time now, I've not really put out content because I've been busy with a lot of things, but I've been making money because people are reaching out to me via recommendation. Somebody's looking for an advert, they will recommend me. If you stop putting out content today, in the next 3, 4, 5 months, can people still remember you? Can people still remember what you do? When people think about a particular problem, will they remember you as a solution provider? So the value you give will give you visibility. The visibility that you have will give you influence. That influence is what is going to make you profitable, whether you are present or absent. People will continue to recommend you. People will continue to refer you. And before you know it, you have, if you are able to master all of these things, then you have an edge over any competitor in your industry. So this brings us to the end of the conversion edge. And I believe that with this little 2 cents that I've shared, if you're able to implement it, I believe that you are going to be able to have an edge. If you're able to leverage these things, you're going to have an edge over any other person in your industry, over your competition. So thank you very much for having me. And thank you, Mr. Abel, my brother, for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure speaking to your audience, and have a lovely evening. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Precious. We are grateful for your time and for the insights that you've dished out. Please, if you can feel the energy in the house, if you've learned something, if you've gotten value, let me see your emoji in the comment section. Let's show our fire emoji. Whatever this session has been like for you, let me see you use your emojis to represent whatever that is. Let's have it, let's have it, let's have it, let's have it, let's have it. Thank you very much, Mr. Precious. Thank you for teaching us how to turn our prospects into clients, not calling them or over messaging them, not overdoing things, right? Because many people don't like such things. Just reach out to them at the time when it is necessary, not every time you are just checking up, checking up, checking up. I just thought I check up on you, and there are so many people that actually do that thing. They will tell you, I just thought to check up on you today, tomorrow again. I just thought to check up on you. Are you not buying this product? And it gets very annoying. Like, what is the issue? What is the issue? Just leave me alone. Now, when I want to buy, I will buy. So ensure that you know when you are strategic about how you message your client or your prospect about to become your client, so you don't make them to go back and stop patronizing you. Thank you very much. I've learned so much from this that I'm going to be executing, giving out gifts, right? Giveaways. Many people love that, and it can attract people to the brand. I've learned so much. I want to hear from you, our audience. What have you learned from tonight's session? What have you learned? I told you all to hold on to your jotters and your pen, and I hope that you jotted. So just peep into it. I give you the opportunity to peep and tell me whatever it is that you've learned from the session of Mr. Precious this evening, so that we can move on to the next thing that we have. I'll be in this comment section reading. All right, let's have it. I know you all are typing. I know you all are typing. Building proper rapport with your client, optimizing your social media handles, ensure that you present yourself the way you want to be addressed, right? The way you dress will be addressed. Don't go and use one picture that you were beside a flower and you are doing peace sign to on your social media handle. Stop it. If you have that, please take that away. And you people that have I am on WhatsApp or I'm offline or WhatsApp only or calls only on your bio on WhatsApp, change that thing. Go and change it. It doesn't speak well of you. That's not professional, right? We've learned all this. So let me know what you learned. Let me know what you learned. All right, Tonye says to optimize my social media handle. Thank you very much, Tonye. Thank you very much for that. I'm glad to know that you've been following. Thank you, and I hope that you're going to put it to practice, right, Tonye? So normally on YouTube, the name we should see should be your full name, not Tonye B23. So I hope that you put that to practice even at the moment, right, Tonye? Thank you very much. To build trust and credibility, thank you very much. And you build trust. Building trust is a process, yeah, not just once. It is how you deliver to your client over time that will see if you can build trust or otherwise. Okay, Jacinta says how to build a good rapport with your clients. Thank you very much, Tonye. I look forward to seeing your name change even now. So thank you very much for your participation. Thank you very much, Mr. Precious. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for honoring us with your presence. I think that everyone will look forward to connecting with Mr. Precious. Mr. Precious, if you want to connect with you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, how do we do that?
Right. My name on Facebook is Precious Chukwemeka Nwosu, just the same way it's appearing on the screen. And on LinkedIn is the same thing. On Instagram, the same thing. Or you can use arts Prince, the Prince of Arts, the Prince of Arts. If you search Prince of Arts, the Prince of Arts, they are all my names. But most especially Precious Chukwemeka Nwosu, you search, you're going to find me anywhere on any social media.
All right, thank you very much. I hope you heard that, Precious Chukwemeka Unsu. Right, I hope I got the pronunciation. So ensure that you follow. This is just a tip of the iceberg that you've gotten here. If you follow him back to back, I'm sure that you're going to get more, and more. And your brand, your life will never remain the same, even in this 2025. You are going to sell so much. So follow him, get his, if he has books, just check on his timeline. I know that you have so much of that on his timeline, books, courses that you can access. Ensure that you do that. All right.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you very much, Mr.
They can,
Precious. Would like to let you go now. Thank you very much for your time. We are grateful. Mr. Abel and the whole team at the Future Edge Conference, we appreciate your time. And despite the network glitches, the fact that you still gave us value, you delivered, you dished it out. I'm very grateful. We are very
thank,
grateful. Thank you very much, sir.
all right. Thank you so
Okay,
much for
without further
having me.
ado, I
I
know
am
that the network
grateful.
has done a lot. All right. I know that the network has done a lot to our time, so we are going to just hurry up and we are going to call on the second speaker. Let me see if she's at the backstage. Okay, she's not. She's not. Oh, Mr. Ebel is saying, I love you, my mentor, to Mr. Precious. Hey. Who does not have mentor like this? Because I beg you. It's okay. I'll be thinking about mentorship. Oh. Okay. I'll be bringing up the next speaker right about now, because we want to ensure that we have everything that we can have within the time, limited time that we have. So please give me a minute to check up if she's at the backstage so I can bring her up. While we do that, ensure that you let me know what you've learned in this session and what you look forward to learning in the next session. Right. So I would expect that. I'll be reading in the comments. I would expect that. So just give me a minute. Let me confirm the availability of our second speaker, or if we are going to move to the panel session right away. All right. Our second speaker is available in person of Miss Samantha Lazarus. Okay. All right. So Miss Samantha Lazarus will be speaking on mastering communication for growth, influence, and career success in 2025. Mastering communication. And without further ado, I would like you to, with a round of applause, with a virtual round of applause, welcome Miss Samantha Lazarus to the stage to take us on the journey of how to master communication for growth, influence, and career success in 2025. Miss Samantha, you can have the stage, please.
Please, can you hear me? Am I audible? Please, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, please, you're audible.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I'm supposed to share my slide. I have a slide prepared already. I'm supposed to share my slide and show my face, but then due to so many back and forth, I won't be able to do that. Then I'm glad you can hear me clearly. Please, beautiful moderator, if at any point you can't hear me, kindly let me know. Is that all right, please?
All
Clearly,
right, I'll do
please.
that.
Is that all right? Oh. Hello? Hello?
I'm with you, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Hello? Oh, this
Can you hear
network
me?
is just so frustrating today.
Okay, I think our network is not
Can you
making us
hear me
hear.
loud and clear?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so the network is very bad, and I'll try to quickly run through what I have for us tonight in the next 10 minutes so that the network wouldn't stop us. If at any point you can't hear me, kindly let me know.
Mm. Miss Samantha, we can't hear you again. Usually. Usually. Miss Samantha, can you hear me, please? I think a network is acting up again. So I think everybody in the comment section should start praying. Let's start casting and binding. Let's start casting and binding every spirit of what kind of spirit should we call this one now? Every spirit of bad network. Who is in the team of prayer warriors here? Maybe we should begin to pray. Okay. All right, because of the network glitch, I think that we have to have our panel session. We have to have the panel session. Okay, before that, let me read out what Oyedeji said he learned from the first session. He said, I learned something from what you said, doing free service to generate or build lead. For me, this stood out for me. Thank you very much, Oyedeji. This shows that you've been listening. Yes, giving out gifts or offering free services to people actually helps you to generate lead. Thank you very much. So without further ado, I would like to invite the panelists to the stage so that we can get the answers to our questions. So if you have any questions with you, I don't want to be the only one asking the questions. If you have any questions that you want to ask, any question at all, ensure that you jot them down, send them via the comment section. I'll be reading them and we'll be getting answers to our questions. All right, so we have okay, please give me some minutes. All right, so we have our panelists at the backstage already. I'm going to be bringing them up, and as I do that, I want you to welcome them with a virtual round of applause to the stage as they answer your questions and clear every doubt that you have. Jeez. And clear every doubt that you have regarding to any aspect that you have those doubts. So let me see your round of applause before I bring them to the stage, please. So I'll know that you're ready. We're up to 8 on this call. So let me see your round of applause. Let me see if you are ready to get your questions answered. Let me see your responses. We are cold. We are cold. All right, Tony, thank you very much. Okay, Jacinta is ready. All right, I'll just bring them to the stage. All right, so we have one of our panelists. We have Lucky James as one of our panelists, and we have Mr. Solomon also as our second panelist, and they are here to clear your doubts. So if you have questions, let them roll in. Elizabeth, I can see you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you have questions, please type them in the comment section as I begin the session. I'm going to be asking questions, but I don't want to be the only one asking questions. Aisha, you're welcome to the FutureEdge Conference. It's a pleasure to have you here. Good evening. If you have questions, we are now at the panel session. If you have questions, ensure you drop them in the comment section so that we can have our questions answered. Welcome, Mr. Lucky James. Welcome, Mr. Solomon. It's a pleasure to have you here. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Lucky James. Please, can you say something so that we can be sure you're with us? I think Mr. Lucky James is freezed. Okay.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
Thank you very much. Good evening. It's actually a pleasure to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and honor to have you both here. So we are going to be asking you some of our questions and would like you to give answers in less than 2 minutes to each of the questions as we drop them. I hope that's okay.
All right, definitely.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. So the panel topic. The panel topic for this panel session is Mastering Social Media Influence from Zero to Authority in 2025. Mastering Social Media Influence from Zero to Authority in 2025. And my first question will go to Mr. Lucky James. The first question is, what do you think the key strategies for building brand authority on social media? What do you think are the key strategies for building brand authority on social media, and how do you stay relevant in a crowded space? So we have situations where there are niches that are crowded. We have so many people doing one thing. For example, the fashion designers, the content creators, we have so many people there. So how do you stay relevant and unique in that situation?
All right. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
I can.
Please let me know if you can hear me before I get to go. I don't know if you can you hear me? All right. Thank you very much.
I can hear you, Mr. Lucky. I can.
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so the very first question. So the strategies for building authority. All right, thank you. Yeah, so strategies for building authority on social media. So when it comes to these strategies, what I would share as strategies that can get to help is, first of all, we need to understand what we're trying to build here, right? What we're trying to do here is we want to build authority. Now, what does authority actually mean? Authority is simply when people get to look up to a person and they're like, okay, this particular person is up there, and whatever it is they have to say, I have to respect what they have to say, because either from their knowledge or what they have acquired from life or something they actually know what it is they are doing. So if you want to build that sense of authority on social media in the sense that you want people to come to respect your brand, you want people to come to take what you do seriously. The first thing you need to do is you need to ensure that you get to optimize your social media profile. Okay, it's very, very important for you to optimize your social media profile because humans tend to often judge a book by its cover. So if the cover is not looking presentable, it becomes difficult for people to see you as a person of authority. It becomes difficult for people to see you as someone they would want to respect with respect to whatever it is that your brand is literally about. So importantly, you need to first work on your social media optimization. So the presentation of yourself that is going out there to the world is a version that people would definitely be interested in and would want to respect, right? Now that's the very first thing. And one other thing I actually want to add in with respect to building authority is just like the name implies, authority. On social media, I do strongly believe that if you want to become a person of authority, you need to go past from just sharing content on social media to author something, right? Authority. There's an author in front of the authority. So you have to author something for you to become an authority. Not like you necessarily have to, but I feel it gives you much of an edge than just people that just get to post randomly on social media, because everybody posts content on social media. So when you follow every other person out there posting content on social media, I mean, there's AI now, and content creation is very, very easy. You can simply go to AI. If you know how to prompt correctly, it's going to give you a really, really amazing content, right? So now everyone can easily create content with AI. So how do we get to stand out? Who do we now get to be or see as a person of authority? So for you to become a person of authority, I do feel and I do believe that authoring something will go a long way to help. It could be to author a book. It could be even start a podcast. Something you have ownership of that is more than just creating of content. It will definitely go a long way to increase your chances of being seen as a person of authority on social media. So try to think of something that you can author aside from just getting to create and post content on social media. All right. Now, how do I get to stay relevant on social media? Now, the truth is that there are a lot of people out there doing what I currently do. And as time goes on, more people will definitely get joining. So in a bid to stay relevant, what do? I stay up to date with trends. Like what exactly is currently the thing that is working at the moment. When I came on social media, what was working on social media, most of those things are currently no longer working. So I try to stay updated. I'm like, okay, what exactly is currently working? And I find a way to tap into what is actually working. At the moment, AI is something that is really working, right? If you're not trying to join into AI, if you're not trying to leverage AI, you would actually be left behind. So in a bit to ensure I stay relevant, I'll be like, okay, AI is there. I'm going to tap into AI. But to now also ensure that I'm not like every other random person using AI out there, I would find a way to do it, to infuse my personality. I'll find a way to infuse my unique selling proposition. What actually makes me stand out from every other person out there? Find a way to infuse it into AI content creation or whatever it is I want to do with AI. So at the end of the day, it's not going to be like everyone is doing AI and I'm just also one of the people in AI, but leveraging my unique, whatever it is that is unique about me, is going to help me become a little bit different from every other person out there who is currently trying to leverage AI, which is what is currently trending. I don't know if you're still there.
Yes, please, I am. I am. Thank you very much, Mr. Lucky. I really appreciate those answers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we've learned that for you to become an authority in whatever field you think you are, in whatever niche, you need to create authored content, share authored content. Even if you are going to go to AI for consultation, it should be for consultation, right? Not that you want to copy and paste what AI is giving to you. So that's one of the ways to position yourself in order to leverage and become the best in whatever you do. Just know your unique selling points and position yourself that way, right? And you are going to have the best of the social media, right? Thank you very much, Mr. Lucky, for that. I'm yet to see your questions. Please let your questions roll in. I mentioned that I don't want to be the only one asking questions. I know you have questions, you have doubts that you want to clear. Just send them in. Our panelists are ready to answer your questions. All right, so I'm going to move to Mr. Solomon now. I made a mistake earlier. I was supposed to introduce the topic of both panelists, but I only introduced one topic. So that was the topic for Mr. Lucky James. That was mastering social media influence from zero to authority in 2025. Then for Mr. Solomon, we have purpose and impact, how to discover and live out your purpose in a complex world, right? So we are going to be asking questions based on these topics for each of our panelists. So for over to Mr. Solomon, I have a question here. What do you think what do you think are some common mistakes that young people make when trying to deploy their purpose, and how can they avoid them? Because so many people go about saying purpose this, I want to fulfill purpose, I want to be a purposeful person, but there are mistakes that they make in wanting to fulfill purpose. So what do you think some of these mistakes are, and how do you think they can avoid these mistakes? Mr. Solomon, please.
Okay, please confirm you can hear me. Confirm you can hear me,
I
please.
can hear you, please.
Okay, thank you so much. It's good to be here. Thank you, Mr. Lucky James. It's nice doing this with you. Now, down to your question, the common mistakes young people do when they try to deploy their purpose. Now, I would say the first mistake they make is actually not understanding what purpose truly is. Most times people tend to misunderstand purpose to be a hobby or occupation. Okay, some persons actually misunderstand
It's good to say.
what they do, or probably what the skills they've been able to accumulate within a period of time. They misunderstand it to be their purpose. So I would say the number one mistake is not understanding what purpose truly means. And I would like to bring to our notice what purpose actually means. Now, when you hear the word purpose, we're talking about the reason for the existence of something. So in this particular case, we are talking about humans now, your reason for existence. And until you understand the meaning of purpose, you have a very little or no chance of actually being able to deploy your purpose effectively. So every young person needs to first of all understand the concept of purpose, what purpose truly means. Now you must understand that what you are doing, let's say you're a teacher or you're a doctor, okay? Your purpose is not actually to be a doctor. Your purpose is not to be an engineer. Your purpose is not to be a lawyer. There's actually a solution you are bringing, and the occupation of what you do is actually a channel. The skills you accumulate is actually a tool that helps you achieve that purpose. And I would want to use a biblical reference. Now, the man called Joseph in the Bible, the son of Jacob, actually, Joseph in the Bible, his purpose was not actually to be the prime minister. His purpose was not to be the interpreter of dreams. Rather, his purpose was actually to deliver his people in the time of famine. His purpose was to deliver his people in the time of famine, to bring them into Egypt where they can actually have abundance. That was his purpose. But he had to utilize his gift, which is the interpretation of dreams, and he also had to utilize his office of the prime minister to be able to live out and deploy his purpose effectively. So every young person must understand the difference between their skill and their purpose. That is number one. Then the second common mistake we make is that we actually expect that people will tell us our purpose. We seek to discover our purpose from the wrong source. Young persons make the mistake of asking people. We go about asking people, who do you think I am? It's a good question. It can actually help you gain certain level of clarity, but it can also confuse you, because some persons have actually handed over their life to other people and they are living based on the definitions of other people. So when you're trying to deploy your purpose, you must understand that it is first of all about you. You will do the major work of discovering and effectively deploying purpose, and not selling yourself or giving people the chance to determine your purpose and how to live out your purpose. So what do I recommend? Number one, I recommend that we go back to understanding the real meaning of purpose and make efforts to discover the purpose, so that we will begin to see everything happening around us as channels leading us to achieving purpose. That is number one recommendation. Then secondly, spend more time asking yourself questions about your purpose and how you can effectively deploy it, rather than depending on people to suggest and depending on people to decide for you how best to deploy your purpose. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Solomon, for that answer. I think that what stood out for me in the answer is that you should ask yourself the questions before. I mean, if you're even going to seek the opinion of people, you should ensure that you've done the most of the work by asking yourself questions on what your purpose is. What are the things, what are the pointers that you see that you can say, okay, this is where this is pointing me to, and this is my purpose, rather than going about and asking or seeking validation. Because I believe that sometimes asking people before you do the work yourself can be tantamount to seeking the validation of people. You're asking people, who am I, people are telling you this and that, and it can actually get you confused. So I hope that everyone here already understands and know the mistakes that they've been making. That's if you've been making any mistake with regards to the journey or of your purpose, you understand and know the mistakes you've been making, and you know the corrections that should be made. All right, so we have a question here for Mr. Lucky. This decor interiors. If you were here when Mr. Lucky was answering a question, and when the first speaker spoke, you will understand that we're told that we should position ourselves properly. Number one, optimize your social media pages. Why not decor interiors? I don't know if that's the name or something else, but you need to optimize this thing, right? So that's part of what we are doing here. All right, so I would ask your question and you get your answer anyway. So Mr. Lucky, why not Decor Interior says, how do I maximize AI in my painting and decorating business? How do I maximize AI in my painting and decorating business? Mr. Lucky, I can't hear you if you are speaking, please. I think his network
Okay.
is.
All right. That's a very good question. how you can get to maximize AI in your painting and decorating business. Now the thing is that AI is can literally help you in almost all facets of life. You listen about AI. Okay, can you hear me? It's audible now. Is it better?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Please let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. I can.
And decorating business. So as I was saying, the thing about AI is that AI is like a personal assistant or maybe like a personal advisor. AI can literally do almost everything you can think about, right? So what there are a lot of things you can AI to do for your what you call your painting and decorating business. It depends on what you want to do. Okay. So now you could use AI as your personal strategist. Now, the only issue most times with AI is that not every information on AI is correct. Even on these AI platforms, they will also tell you that some of the information you'll be getting directly from this AI might not be correct. So you have to be very careful about taking advice directly from AI when you don't have any knowledge about that thing or versed in that particular thing. If what AI is actually saying is really what needs to be done. Okay. But AI can help you creating a strategy. Let's say you want to build a brand on social media and you're confused about the strategy you want to use. AI can get to help you create a strategy. If you're confused about the kind of content you want to create, you can converse with AI. You prompt it accurately. AI will tell you the kind of content you need to create that will bring you more followers, the kind of content you need to create that will bring you more sales. There are lots of things you can literally use AI to do. It depends on what specifically you want to do with it. Okay, AI can properly use AI and what exactly you want to use it to do in your business. AI can actually help you maybe even create Excel what's it called? Just a whole lot of things you can do with AI. So it depends majorly or specifically on what exactly you're trying to do with AI. Then you get into understand or learning how you can get.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Lucky. I think that there was a network glitch. So what you were saying was not tallying with what we were seeing, but I believe that you've answered the question. Thank you very much. Why not decor interiors? I hope you got your answers. Thank you very much, Mr. Lucky, for that. Okay, I think Mr. Solomon is here now. Let me add him to the stage. All right, Mr. Solomon, over to you. I want you to shortly tell us what you think are some proven productivity techniques that can help individuals to balance multiple projects or responsibilities without burning out. So nowadays we have things we want to do, many things we want to do at a time. So multitasking can bring about burnout. So how do you think we can manage the things that we have to do with regards to our purpose in a way that we would not burn out?
Okay, so if you can hear me clearly, I would want to go quickly into answering that question. Um, okay, I would actually be sincere with us. I know some persons want that magic strategy they can employ to begin to work like superhuman. Okay, but first of all, you must understand that you are still human. That's number one. You must understand that you are still human, and as a human, you have limitations. So whether you're actually going to be applying some strategies, you must understand that there is actually a place for rest. So personally, I came into 2025 deciding that I was going to do less work but better. I was going to do less but better works. Okay. So I'm going to invest more of my time doing less activities that gives me better results. And I will encourage us to also embrace that same strategy. But let's say you have lots of projects you cannot actually avoid and you want to manage this project. Now, number one is this: you must make sure you keep your body at optimal level by practicing self-care. You must practice self-care. That is number one. Make sure you give yourself chance to have enough rest. Make sure you involve yourself in exercises. Make sure you keep your body in shape. Eat the right kind of food. Eat at the right time. Engage in activities that keeps your body on the best optimal level. Okay, that is one. Then number two, you need to actually clear your head. Now, the reason why most persons are unable to work during the day is because in the night when they should be resting, they are still overburdened with lots of activities. So you see some persons chatting throughout the night when they know they have lots of mental work to do during the day. So you must learn how to clear your head of different things. We call it debugging. You must learn how to debug lots of things from your head so that you have enough mental energy to carry out those projects. Then the next thing you need to do, number three, is to focus on the essential tasks per time. Focus on essential tasks per time. Now, you must learn how to complete a task before jumping into the next. For those that use their laptop, you must learn how to manage the tabs on your laptop. So you have somebody who is working with his laptop and he has many tabs open. And you see this person checking the first tab. Before you know it, he switches to the next, he switches to the next. Even the computer system itself begins to struggle to actually keep up with the activities. Talk more of your own mind as a human. So there's need for you to focus on the essential tasks per time. So that's why you need to have a to-do list. Of course, I know everybody here is aware of what we call to-do lists. So you assign time, you allocate time to each task, and make sure you stick to that time. Then number four thing you need to do is to delegate or eliminate. Delegate or eliminate. Now, the truth is that we all want to be seen as that particular individual who has the superpowers to do so many things, yet bring results. But trust me, when you carry out many tasks at the same time, there's a tendency that you would not give your best in all those particular tasks. You will not deliver your best. So there's need for you to delegate and eliminate when the case demands it. That is where AI comes in. There are certain things you should not bother yourself doing with your own brain. You might need to introduce the help of AI. You might need to delegate some duties to your team members. You might need to get some persons who would carry out certain tasks. Now, compare that CEO that has an executive assistant and that CEO that has none. You will discover that that CEO with an executive assistant will definitely command more results because he has less activities to carry out because there's someone else who he or she can delegate duties to. So you must focus on essential tasks per time. Take it one at a time, delegate or eliminate. Then the next thing is to use simple tools. The reason why we talk about AI today or we preach about AI is because AI makes our work easier. AI reduces the amount of time you spend on a particular task. So you need to find simple tools. Now, so many businesses today that actually pay premium prices to get certain tools, they don't do so because they have lots of money to spend. But they do so they can be able to reduce the amount of time they spend on achieving certain goals so they can move to the next. So you might need to find some tools that can make your work easier. That is why we have automation tools. Today we have WhatsApp automation tools that helps you send automated replies even in your absence. All those things came into place just to help reduce the need for your presence at all times. So you must find some of those tools and infuse them into those projects to reduce the amount of time you need to spend on those projects. Then the next one is what takes strategic breaks. See, no matter how productive you want to be, in fact, for you to be productive, you must learn how to keep yourself at 100% level all the time. So just imagine your body, imagine you breaking down at some point because of fatigue or because of stress. Those work or those tasks or projects you wanted to carry out will be left pending. In fact, in the case where you have team members, that particular project will be assigned to somebody else, and maybe before you will come back to good health, the person must have shown so much capacity and you'll be denied the chance to even continue. So you must learn to take breaks. Any project you are carrying out, assign certain time for breaks so that you can always recover lost strength and you will be at the best energy to carry out more activities. I think these are few out of many productivity tips, or yes, productivity tips that can help you stay 100% and avoid getting burnt out while carrying out multiple projects. But above all, please, if it's possible, don't overload yourself with lots and lots of projects. Reduce the number of projects you accept, reduce the number of jobs you accept per time. Instead, go for jobs that can pay you more, so you wouldn't have to do so many things to get or meet your financial goals. That is my own recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Solomon. So basically, just know what your power can carry. Take strategic breaks, ensure that you delegate what can be delegated, and eliminate what can be eliminated. Then focus on one thing per time. Do not overburden yourself. Self-care, very important. Thank you very much, Mr. Solomon, for those answers. So we are going to ask just one more question from the both of our panelists before we call it a day, or before we call it a session for today. So, Mr. Lucky, I'm going to direct this question to you. How can what are the biggest pitfalls to avoid when establishing a personal brand on platforms like Facebook and Instagram? What do you think, from your experience, are the biggest pitfalls to avoid when establishing a personal brand on platforms like Facebook and Instagram? Sorry, is it just me? I can't hear you, Mr. Lucky. The biggest pitfalls to avoid when establishing Instagram.
Okay, that's a good question, because for you to not fall into them, increasing your chances of being able to drive better results on social media. So I'm going to list out three. Right, I'll list out three. Now, one of those pitfalls is that you don't want to worry.
Sorry, is it just me? I can't hear you, Mr. Lucky.
Okay, my mic was muted. That was the reason you were not hearing me. So yeah, the question about pitfalls. So yeah, it's a really good question, because when an individuals know what the pitfalls are, it becomes easier to navigate through. So you get to fall into those, pitfalls, and get to ruin your chances of getting the results you want to achieve, right? So there are three pitfalls I can think about right now that I'm going to share. That will be super helpful. Okay, so you have to ensure you get to not fall into them. You have to avoid them if you're looking forward to building, a brand of authority on social media. Now, the very first one is that of wanting to be perfect before you show up on social media. Okay, there are some people that when it comes to them building a brand on social media, they always want to first be perfect before they show up. They want to have an iPhone that has, the latest camera. They want to have very good looking clothes. They want to have an amazing viral. They literally want everything to be perfect before they get to show up. Now, the problem with trying to be perfect before you get to show up is that for a long period of time, right? And what is going to happen is that you keep on waiting behind the scenes, waiting to get everything all figured out. And at the end of the day, before you got maybe a good majority of things figured out, now looking good to go, it's already too late for you to get started, right? So you want to ensure you don't have to wait till you're perfect before you decide to start showing up on socials to build your brand. Start with what you have, okay? Now, the fact that I say you should start with what you have does not mean you should come on social media and start presenting yourself as someone who has nothing. Whatever it is you have, you want to find a way to strategically use it in a way that would make it presentable, that people will be interested in your brand, in what you do, so that later on when you start trying to market your offers, it becomes easier for them to take those offers, which would in turn, help you make profit on social media, right? Now, the second pitfall to avoid is that of worrying about engagement. Now, there are lots of people on social media and they are always worried about what? Engagement. They're like, if I post content today, it does not get engagement. If I post content, it does not get engagement. Now, while engagement is very good and nice and good to have all of that, is one thing you don't want to over worry about. Is one thing you don't want to get yourself in a fix with, because your engagement most times is decided by algorithm, the algorithm, and you have a little around the algorithm and increase your chances of engagement. But then you don't want to worry so much on content engagement. What you should be thinking as someone who is trying to build a brand of authority on social media is, who am I trying to attract? Who do I want to follow my brand? What are the kind of things these people are interested in? What are the challenges they have? What are the visions and passions they have? What desires do they have? Now, find a way to fine tune your content to be valuable to this kind of people. Because the truth about life in general, which also applies to social media, is that people tend to follow people that have value to offer. So if I have value to offer, those people interested in the kind of value I have to offer will definitely follow me, right? Whoever is currently live on this session at the moment is currently live because they feel whatever is going to be shared here tonight is going to be of value to them. So instead of worrying about poor engagement, start asking yourself, what kind of content will my audience be interested in? Focus on getting better at content creation. Put out content, learn a little bit about the algorithm so you can also tap into what is currently existing and currently working for other people. But don't let the fact that you have engagement be something that you don't have enough engagement be something that keeps you up at night. Focus on delivering value. And with that, which is the last but not the least, is that of posting as the spirit leads. Now, there are lots of people on social media. They want to make sales, they want to get whatever kind of results they want to get, but they just post randomly on social media. They post as a spirit lead. Is 1 week later. Maybe the next time again is like 2 months later, and they are back and they're like, "Who missed me? Who missed you? No one is actually going to miss you." Because the reality about social media is that the moment you take a break, there are lots of other people out there putting out content that those people who are following your content will definitely want to go and follow. Except you've been on the platform for a long period of time, and you've been able to build a strong follower base that when you take a break, people will still be looking forward to what? To you getting to come back on socials, right? So you want to ensure that you don't post as the spirit leads. You want to ensure you feel like posting. There's going to be time for all of that. But importantly, lead with a strategy. Have a strategy, right? If you want to grow your audience, your strategy, you should be like, okay, on Monday, this is the type of content I want to post, because there's a huge tendency for this kind of content bringing me more followers. This is the kind of content that can bring us sales. Okay, we want to do what? We want to connect with new people. On Wednesday, let's post this kind of content. A strategy is going to go a long way to help you understand what do you have to post while posting it. Because you're not just here to catch crews. You're here for a specific reason, right? So the reason should guide how you get to put out content on social media, right? So those are the three pitfalls whoever is trying to build a brand on social media to try to avoid. Okay, don't fall into the trap of worrying about, oh, I need to be perfect if I show up. Okay, don't fall into the trap of worrying about, oh, my engagement needs to be thousands of reactions if I post consistently. It does not matter. And don't fall into the trap of saying what I want to post as the spirit leads, or whenever it is I feel like I want to actually post on socials. So I hope that helps them.
Thank you very much. That will help us a lot. I mean, I've jotted, and I know that it is going to help me, and I know it's going to help everybody too. We put it to use. Thank you very much. So we should understand the algorithm, and we should also ensure that we post. We are not just posting as the spirit leads, even though the spirit of God is true, but we should not just post as the spirit leads. We should have a strategic way of posting. It shouldn't just be one type of content. Some can be inspiring, entertaining, just to spice things up. Thank you very much. I really appreciate those answers, Mr. Lucky. And finally, over to Mr. Solomon. We've talked about some common mistakes that young people make in deploying their purpose. We've talked about some proven productivity techniques that can help individuals manage multiple projects without stress or burnout. Now, I want to ask you, how do you think an individual can begin this journey of purpose discovery, and why is it crucial for long-term success? How do you think an individual can begin, for people that have not even started, how do you think they can start this journey of purpose discovery, and why is it very important for long-term success? Mr. Solomon, please.
Okay, so the first thing I would say is this. Like I said before, you must understand what purpose is. And I've explained it in a very simple term. It's actually the reason for your existence. And I think I've also highlighted the difference between your purpose and skills and all that. While skills and occupation and all that can actually be a channel through which you can fulfill or deploy your purpose. Then to answer this question, first I actually have a book that talks about purpose and productivity and all that, which is why I felt so excited when this particular topic was actually assigned to me. This is actually the book, Drink Up. I have it in hard copy, but I'm no longer selling the hard copy now because I have just limited copies remaining. And I also have an ebook which I would want to gift every participant of this particular program. Out to me, that's 10x productivity. That will really help everyone here. Now, to answer the question, the number one thing I recommend, before now, we always say follow your passion and all that, which is actually very correct. But you must understand that purpose, you discover purpose in your place of assignment. So before now, people would always recommend that you should pray, which is still very valid. And they say, look inwards, observe your passions. It's also valid. But most times, if you wait until you are able to observe your passion and come to the conclusion that this is your purpose, you might wait all your life. So this is what I recommend. Number one, reflect on your values. The first thing you need to do is to reflect on your values. What are those values that actually defines you? What are those values you hold special to you? What are those things you can summarize your life to be? What are those values you are not willing to let go no matter where you find yourself? Reflect on your values. about those things that matters most to you. What do you stand for? If such question is being asked, what do you stand for? Now, there are certain things. For instance, personally, I value my name, I value my word so much, I value my integrity so much that I am not willing to trade it for anything. I have found myself in so many situations one. Number two, you must identify your passion. Like I said, it's still very much valid. Identify your passion. What are those things you are passionate about? For a musician or a singer or someone who loves music, what are those things you love doing so much that you hate to see being done badly? Those are actually pointers to your purpose. What are those things that gives you sleepless night, that whenever you hear about it, whenever you see it happen, it burdens your heart? Identify. Now, one of the gifts that Joseph had was the gift of interpretation of dreams. And right from the early stage of his life, he maximized that gift. Even when his brothers and different persons tried to shut him up, he was not willing to allow them, because that was his strength. That was what he could do so well. And guess what? That was the same thing that took him to the palace, that ended up helping him fulfill his purpose. So you must explore your strength. Then number four, doing or you consider to be your purpose, or you are so.
All right, I think that Mr. Solomon has network glitches. I don't know if that is from me alone,
I think that Mr. Solomon has network glitches.
or everyone is experiencing that. Let's just wait for some seconds. He has mentioned identifying your passion, reflecting on your values, and exploring your strength as the steps to discovering your purpose, or beginning the journey of your purpose discovery. All right, I think the network has eventually kicked him out. All right, so I think that we'll just wrap it up here because of our time. And I would like to appreciate Mr. Lucky for coming here and honoring our invitation tonight. I would also like to appreciate Mr. Solomon for being in our midst tonight, for the answers that you've given to our questions. I have learned a lot, most especially on the social media algorithm and every other thing like that. I've learned a lot, and I know that coming to your page, that's on Facebook, on Instagram, I'm going to learn a lot more, and every other person here too is going to learn a lot more. So, Mr. Lucky, if you want to connect with you on your social media and do what is your name, what is your undo, how do we connect with you? Mr. Lucky, we can't hear you. We cannot hear you.
Okay, so at the moment, I'm much more active on Facebook. So on Facebook, you just have to search for Lucky James. To make it easier, because I mean, there's a lot of people that bear the name Lucky James on Facebook. So I used the dominator in brackets when I actually put my name on Facebook. So okay, yeah, I was muted. I didn't remember to unmute again. So as I was saying, I say, yeah, anyone who would love to connect with me on socials, you can connect with me on Facebook. Okay, just search for Lucky James on Facebook. Now, there are lots of people bearing Lucky James on Facebook, so it might be difficult for you to, maybe get mine specifically. So to make it easy for you, all you just have to do is to search for Lucky James page instantly on Facebook, and you should be able to follow me from there instantly. On Instagram, it's at I am Lucky James, username on Instagram.
All right, thank you very much, Lucky James on Facebook and on Instagram at I am Lucky James. I hope that everyone seeing the values that they've dished out, you should be able to follow them to even get much more value on their timelines and page. Mr. Solomon, thank you very much. I think the network kicked you out. Sorry about that. You're welcome back. And Mr. Solomon mentioned that he has a book that you should get, and I would advise that you get that book if you want to get more insight on your purpose and productivity and much more like that. So, Mr. Solomon, if we want to connect with you on social media, how do we do that?
Okay, so thank you so much. So sorry the network kicked me out. To connect
with you on social media.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Mr. Lucky, please, you can unmute your mic. I think that's why we have the echo. Mr. Solomon, please, you can speak now.
Can you hear me now? Yes.
Yes, I can. Yes. Mr. Solomon, please, you can speak now. Yes, I can. Yes. Mr. Solomon, are you there? Okay, I think Mr. Solomon has issues with his network, I guess. All right, so we are going to bring his social media handle and that of other speakers to you on the community. So ensure that you stay tuned and expect that news. Mr. Lucky James, Mr. Solomon, thank you very much for joining us on this panel session on the second day of the FutureEdge Conference. We appreciate your presence. We honor you for honoring our event, honoring our call, and we are so much grateful for the insights that you've dished out. We look forward to following you and learning more, even more on everything that you've said, and even more that you have to say. Thank you very much. So if you've learned one, or if you've learned 5 or 10 things, please let me see your comment. Let me see your comment. Let me see your fire emoji. Thank you very much. So if you learned one, or if you learned 5 or 10 things, please let me see your comment. Let me see your fire emoji. All right, I'm not seeing your comments. If you've learned something, if you've learned some things, let me see your comments. Let me know what you've learned. I really got value. Tonye, thank you very much. You really got value. Let me know what you got. What's that value? What exactly is that value? Let me know, let me know, let me know, let me know. And thank you very much for staying tuned. Our audience, you are doing so well. Thank you for your patience. Despite the network glitch, you've been here. I really appreciate your patience and your presence in this place and your engagement. I love it. Thank you very much. Okay, I think that we will have to go into the last thing that we have for the day 2 session of this conference, and that will be bringing up. Okay, I don't think she's here. All right. While I confirm some things, I want you to take time to write down those things that you've learned. What stood out for you the most in what Mr. Lucky James said and what Mr. Solomon said? Then when will you be getting Mr. Solomon's book? Have you followed our speakers from yesterday? Have you followed Mr. Lucky James and Mr. Solomon? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. All right, so Tonye says emphasis on taking strategic breaks, not waiting for perfection, posting on social media even with low engagement, and not waiting for when we feel like to post. Thank you very much, Tonye. I really appreciate this. It shows that you've been following from the beginning even up till now. Thank you very, very much. And I hope that you put this to practice as you build your brand and you go on the streets of social media. Thank you very much. So without further ado, in 20 minutes or less, I want to welcome Miss Samantha Lazarus once again to talk to us on communication. And yes, let's welcome her with a virtual round of applause as she takes us on this journey. Miss Samantha, please, you can have the stage.
Hello, once again. Please, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can, but it seems your volume is low.
What about now? The
Still the
network
same.
is very bad, actually. What
Sorry
about now?
about
Can you
that.
hear me now?
Yes, I think it's better. You can just go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see how far we can go. I just hope that this network doesn't mess up again. So I have, the last time when I came up, I said greetings to everybody. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. I really appreciate this. For the opportunity, I'm saying thank you to the team. Thank you to our beautiful host as well for your patience. It takes a lot of patience to be able to deal with this kind of back and forth. But you're still here. Please, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can. I can still hear you.
So, mastering communication for growth and influence and career success in 2025. The first thing I would love you to note is that communication goes beyond just exchanging information. It goes beyond you online. It is actually you pushing out a perception of you to people. For everything you say, for every word that comes out of your mouth, people would perceive you either positively or negatively, which is why you need to take communication seriously. And also, apart from music, we have different mediums of communication. We have the speaking, we have writing, we have non-verbal, which includes your gestures, your facial expressions, and even silence. And one thing I've realized is that a lot of people, when they talk about communication, they pend it only on the speaking aspect, leaving out the writing aspect. You need to know that as you are communicating, as you are making your posts, our panelists, they did a great job. I was around listening to them, and our first speaker too. As you are making a post, as you are trying to project yourself, you are actually communicating yourself. You are projecting what you stand for out there. And it is important for you to put it in mind that people will always have a perception of you, whether good or bad. And how will they have this perception? It is by what you push out there. It's by what you put out there, the post you make, the things you say, which is why you have to be very careful if you are looking forward to using communication to build influence and to build your career and to grow this year. You have to be careful of what you say online. You have to be careful of the trends you jump on. You have to be careful of the things you say, because they leave footprints, they leave footpaths online for you. Just as our first speaker said, some employers these days, they don't, they may not even need to ask for your CV before they employ you. They'll just tell you to them your social media handles. They will go through it. And I've seen cases where people lose their job because of what they've said online. So please don't just jump on trends. Make sure that what you are saying is in alignment with your value. It is in alignment with what you stand for and everything you aim to achieve. For communication, there are different things involved. We have the sender, the element rather. We have the sender, which is the originator of the message. We have the message, which is the information or the idea being conveyed. We have the receiver, the person interpreting the message. We have the medium, the channel of communication, and we have the feedback, that is the response you receive from the communicator or the sender. Now, because a lot of us here, we are online people, I'm going to liken this to what we do online. Please, if you are still with me, can I know, so that it doesn't feel as if I'm the only one here? Oh, thank you, everybody.
We are with you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. So, as an online person, you are, when you write a post, when you make a post online, you are the sender. What you are writing, what you've written, is the message, that is the information you are conveying. The receiver are the people reading your posts. The medium is through Facebook, and the feedback are the comments, the shares, the likes, the reactions you get on the post. Now, I want to say something that at times people will judge you based on what you say. We often say don't judge a book by its cover, but how many of us really work by that principle? You'll be judged by what you say, which is why you have to be careful of what you put out there. Because whatever you say is the foundation of your professional and personal success. Whatever you post out there is the foundation. And your posts, the way you communicate with people, the way you talk to people, drive your influence, trust, and relationship. If you're someone who, when people have conversations with you, the first thing you do is to come and post them online, or try to come online and chide them, try to give sub posts. Nah, toxicity should not even be close to you, negativity. So please, I'm pleading with you, every single thing you do communicates. The message you have with people, even every single thing you do, the comments you make, as a way of creating a perception. And the last thing you want to do is to create a negative perception, because the moment people have a negative perception of you, it will be hard for you to make that influence that you are pursuing in 2020 for growth, influence, and career success. The first is that you should use simple words. Clarity is power. It is not about the big words, the impact your words are making. Communication will not take place if people, your audience, don't understand what you're trying to say. Clarity is power. Be clear about whatever you are saying, whether you are writing it, whether you are saying it, be clear. Because when you are clear, you'll be more persuasive. The time your audience is using to check dictionary when they are speaking to you, they can quickly use that time to interpret whatever you say to them. Albert Einstein said something. He said, if you can't explain it simply, it means you don't understand it well enough. So please don't say that I have to use big words to show that I'm in power, I am on ground, I am trendy. No, stick with your simple words. It is better to communicate your value in a way that people quickly understand. To check up your post and all. They have on. You just keep scrolling. Imagine someone who wants to spend 10 minutes on Facebook and you are there making use of big vocabulary. The person will just lose interest. Make sure you are clear and you tell your stories for influence. At times, what your audience wants, what people want, is to be able to resonate with you. Is to simply be able to resonate with you. While you tell the stories of others, when you tell your story, it has a way of connecting you with your audience. You can tell facts, but then stories will sell. That is just the truth, because people will not trust facts. They will trust what you have to say. They want to trust what you stand for. So you can share relatable experiences as you are building your brand. But please don't share personal things about yourself, please. As you are using storytelling, you have to be careful as well, because the internet would never forget. Robert McKee says, storytelling is the most powerful way to put ideas into the world today. And it is true. One of the ways you can communicate yourself for influence in 2025 and grow is when you tell your stories. Because there are some opportunities you might want to get in the future. And when the people that wants to give out the opportunities come down to your page, when they see your story, you may not even need to pitch yourself. That opportunity will speak. That story will speak for you, and you most likely get that opportunity. You know, when you tell stories, it is not for the present, but for the future. You are watering the ground for what is to come. You're watching the ground for what is to come. As well, be adaptable. Different platforms have their different rules. For example, on LinkedIn, you have to be very professional. While on Facebook, you can write anything you want. On Twitter, you have to be short and engaging. So when you want to make your posts, or when you want to communicate yourself, I have established the fact that making posts is a way of communicating. When you give out value, you are communicating yourself as a valuable person. Whatever you do online is not wasting of time. As you are striving to build your brand online, you are communicating something. You are communicating yourself. You're communicating what you stand for. So I want you to note this, that for everything you put out there, you are not just putting them out. You are communicating something to the people listening to you, people reading from you, and the people watching you. So please be adaptable. Make sure that when you want to make your post, even if you are going to copy and paste across all platforms, do it in a way that it will resonate with your audience on the different platforms. As well, listen more. It sets you apart. Active listening is a game changer, because when you listen, you connect with your audience. You listen to connect and not just to reply. Communication is not just about speaking, it is about understanding. So when you listen, you show genuine interest. When I say listening, fine, you've posted online, people are engaged. Instead of going ahead to, and the question is not something you really like, it doesn't resonate with you. Instead of being defensive? Why don't you just listen and get a few things from what the person has to say, then respond to the person? Do not listen with the intention to reply. Listen with the intention to understand. Because of our time, I'll quickly rush through this. Also, if you want to build your communication skills for impact in 2025, make sure you are leveraging your nonverbal cues. That is, nonverbal communication is key, because these days 70% of communication is nonverbal. Facial expressions, your tones, your gestures, and even your silence. Your silence can say 1,000 words without you saying any single thing. Silence is a powerful form of communication, because at times when you say something, it is beyond hearing it. The way you say it also matters. The way you say it also matters. And as you are focusing on nonverbal communication in 2025, make sure as well that you are improving yourself. The best way to improve your communication skills for growth and influence is reading widely on communication. Go ahead, go online. There are different PDFs that you can download to improve your communication skills, because whether we accept it or not, communication is a selling skill in this age and time. One of the best skills, or one of the top skills employers look out for when you want to when you want to get a job, is your communication skills. Because if you cannot say what you want the way you want it to be said, and for your audience to understand it, then you are not
Hello, ma'am. We can't hear you again. Please let me know if it's just me or if it's everybody.
So can you still hear me?
All right. Yes, you are back now. I can hear you now.
I was saying that I'm done already. That because of the network, I quickly had to rush through it. But then I hope that you've been able to pick one or two things that in 2025, if you want to build on communication for influence and to grow your career, be authentic and show yourself forth in a way that is peculiar to you. Make sure you go ahead to learn more about communication and develop yourself, because communication is a top skill in the occupational world. So that's all. Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you
is it.
very much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please let's appreciate Miss Samantha Lazarus in the comment section. Despite the network glitches, she was able to still join us and deliver value, premium value. So if you've learned one or two things, let's celebrate Miss Samantha Lazarus. We've learned on communication. We've learned about verbal cues. Your silence is powerful. Your your gestures, your gesticulations are powerful. Your smile, stuff like that. You don't even think that are communicating something are powerful, right? They are also a means of communication. What you write and put out there, they are a means of communication. The trends that you jump on, it shows who you are, right? What you support, who you are, and it's a form of communication, right? Because it's telling people that this is the kind of thing that this person can do. This is the kind of thing that this person can get involved in. So we've learned so much. So let me know what you've learned. Let me know what you've learned. Let me know what you've learned. Let's have it in the comment section before we call tonight. This day two's a wrap. If you have your questions, please do well to drop them. We'll see how to forward them to Miss Samantha Lazarus and get the answers back to you. So, but for now, let me know what you've learned from this session. How was the session for you? Did you learn anything new? Did it clear your doubts? Did it answer any of your questions? Did you get a new light? Have you seen anything from a different perspective? What do you think about this session? Let me hear from you. Let me hear from you. Let me hear from you. Your speaking, your writing, your gestures, your facial expressions, and silence are mediums of communication. We've learned that, right? Then communication goes beyond just exchanging information. And then you have the sender, you have the medium, you have the receiver, right? I think there's one more left. Yes. So we've learned a lot. Let me know what you've learned in the comment section. I can't be the only one that learned something. We also learn about adapting, right? For different social media platforms, you have different ways to approach them. You have different ways to maximize them. You have different ways to communicate. For Instagram, it could be videos and pictures. For Facebook, it could be text. For LinkedIn, it could be an official mode. So I've learned so much. Okay, Tonye says, listen with the intention of understanding, not just replying. Clarity is power in communication. Thank you very much. I heard when she mentioned that. So you're not listening to judge. You are not listening to say, oh, you are a bad person. You are listening to understand what that person is saying, not just replying or judging. And clarity, just speak in your simple terms. For people that want to be using big grammar, not sure that you know the dictionary. I remember that she mentioned that, I recall that she mentioned that if you are speaking and your receiver does not understand what you are saying, then you have not communicated, right? So clarity is power when it comes to communication. Okay, Jacinta says communication is not to reply, but to listen, to connect, and facial expression matters a lot. If you are saying something and you're happy and you're looking like this, I'm so happy about your admission. I'm so happy that you gave birth. It's weird. Your facial expression is not communicating what you are saying. So you're like, I'm so happy about the admission. You're happy. Yeah. And if someone died and you're saying, wow, oh my God, he died, it looks like you're happy, right? So your facial expressions should tally with your gestures, gesticulations, and with your words. All those come together to form communication, to express and state what you mean. Thank you very much. I'm so glad that you all have been attentive. Thank you, Jacinta. You've been here from the beginning. Thank you, Tonya. You've been here from the beginning. Tommy Sleepings, peace. I think you joined at some point. Who else? I know there are some people that joined. Thank you to everyone that joined basically. Thank you, Solomon Otta. Thank you very much. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Aisha. You joined at some point. Thank you, Yedeji. I really appreciate your presence. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your patience despite the network glitches. Thank you to everyone that has been on this call. For those that were here yesterday and today, you guys are the real G's. And for those that are here today, you are also a G. All right. So with this, we come to the end of the session for day 2 of the FutureEdge Conference. And I hope that you've learned a lot from our speakers, from the panel session. And I hope that we are going to see you tomorrow or the next day. We are going to be having this conference. I hope to see you. I hope to see your face. I hope to get your comments. Thank you very much for having and for honoring this invitation and for being the best audience. Like, I've enjoyed your engagement so far since yesterday, and I really appreciate it. I am Ladune Pisalaulua, and I have been your host since the beginning of this conference, the FutureEdge Conference, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. Thank you very much for making my work easy. I am going to see you when we see. Happy Sunday in advance. Take good care of yourself. And this is me saying good night, signing out. I'll see you when we see. Bye.